Hello and welcome to the Rei Sportscar Championship. This is round 4, race 1 at the Autodromo Nacional Monza. We've got two 16-lap races, both in separate videos, and I am Bradley, your commentator, but with me is also fellow commentator Macko.
Hello and welcome, viewers.
So, we had a 10-minute qualifying session where quite a lot of slipstreaming took place, but in the end it was Mr. Macko who took pole position, his first ever pole in the Rei Sportscar Championship. In second place is the Italian driver at his home circuit, Sig Nico, with third place being Stefan Bellof, who won here at Monza last season. We've then got Hunty the Punty, who is a new driver to the Rei Sportscar Championship, and he's had a great qualifying in fourth place, ahead of second place in the championship driver, Bradders V. Now, he is actually the highest placed driver in the race here today, due to the championship leader, Macko, not being here. In sixth place is Fix Trip in his Pirelli livery, with seventh place being Way Too Many Napkins. 8th place in a new livery is Ross, with 9th place being Scaniflick. Rounding out the top 10 in the Sony livery is Samios, with Pixtecker in 11th, Drade getting his return to the Rei Sportscar Championship after a 2-round break in 12th, and rounding out the 13-car field is Noki, the driver from the Bahamas. So let's get away here and one of the crucial things is the tyre wear. Now around here at Monza, the tyre wear isn't too bad. It's mostly made up of long straights. So how do you think that's going to affect the strategy?
Well, first thing first, most of the grid starts on the soft tires, but I think Sig Nico is on the medium tires, so he might not want to pit, because mediums can definitely last 16 laps, and now he's on the inside of Macko already. And that is a glorious move into P1.
It's a great move, and Stefan there, very opportunistic, also moving up a position, and he's on the softs. So we've got soft, medium and hard tyres available. There's no mandatory pit stop. It's a complete free-for-all, but Sig is actually now holding up Stefan and Macko there on those medium compounds, but Stefan goes to the inside into the second chicane. I don't think he can pull it off as we now watch the remaining cars go through this chicane. So in fourth place is Hunty. Fifth place is Fixtrip, who's got ahead of Bradders V. Seventh place is Scanny. Eighth is Ross. Ninth is Sammy. 10th is Pixtecker. And then further back, I believe Way Too Many Napkins has had an incident as he's fallen to the back of the field.
I think so, yes. Tyler was actually one of the few who had or at least who I suggested for a race victory, because his pace was very good during the practice. And he seemed to be quite consistent as well, but during qualifying I think he qualified 6th or 7th, and now with this mistake he's definitely not going to be looking for the podium finish.
Yeah, so where is our closest battle on track? It's up front actually. It's actually Macko and Stefan who are going side by side into the Parabolica here as we just finished the first lap, so it's been a disastrous start for our pole sitter, losing 2 places at that first turn. Meanwhile,
but of course
back,
now he's in the slipstream.
Sorry, he is further back, but further back, Hunty the Punty in his debuts lost 2 positions, but if we go back up to that start, we can see the slipstreaming in action, all with these Porsche 962Cs.
Ooh.
Defensive from the Italian. Stefan, the Irish driver, going around the outside, that would be one hell of a move, and I think he's worked. No, he got on the gravel, that's really unlucky.
Well, yeah, he was unlucky to get there, but lucky to escape, because that gravel trap is a very dangerous spot on the track, and many drivers got stuck last year. And it's very easy to go wide if you go side by side into the first chicane.
Yeah, last season we were racing in the Super GT cars around here. So what was getting your attention, Macko?
I thought that Hunty is going for a move, or at least I saw somebody trying to overtake someone, but I might have been wrong. So.
Well,
I think it's fine.
Hunty was in 6th for a moment, but he's got past Bradders V, so we've only got 3 Brits there, 5th, 6th and 7th. And you can see Sammy has dropped off this opening pack, he's down in 9th, and then we can see it's pretty close though behind, but up front here, Sig, Stefan and Macko in the podium positions.
this is a very comfortable situation for Sig as he's on the medium tires, and Macko and both Stefan are on the soft tires. And I think they might want to pit, well, in the 7th or 8th lap. And as long as Sig manages to stay in front of them, meanwhile Brad is on the inside of Hunty the Punty.
Yeah,
that is not the best spot to overtake, because there comes the main straight.
I think there was a slight mistake from Hunty missing the apex. Meanwhile, I think further back, Ross is making a move here. He's moved into 7th, but it may be that Scani can re-overtake on the inside, but up front, there's so much action going on. We'll just catch to it in a second. What's happened to Fix Trip? Oh, big incident. Big incident. Off. And it is Fix Trip off, I think.
Yes, he is.
So he was running in 4th, but look at this. He's actually got onto the back of Macko, but what's happened in turn 1? Oh, he's gone to the inside for a dive bomb, and, well, that's off the track. And then on that curb, you end up getting dirty tyres, I think, and he's ended up falling back down to the outskirts of the top 10 with Tyler, Noki, and Pixteca there behind some of the AM-class drivers. So that's now promoted Hunty and Bradders up into the top 5.
Yes, indeed, and Sig is under pressure from Stefan. Stefan has less ballast than Sig, and he's on the soft tyres. So, in theory, he should be a lot faster than Sig, or at least for the first 10 laps, as long as the softs are in a better shape than the mediums. Macko is, I think, about a second behind them. He's not going to disturb them. But, of course, as they are going to battle for the position, they are going to lose plenty of time. So, it's not over for Macko either.
We've got more racing side by side between Scani and Ross. They were side by side there through the final turn and on the main straight, and now Scani's finally regained that position, I think. Great stuff there by the Brit.
Oh, Ross is very close though, and he's on the slipstream, and he goes into the inside of Scani. But as I said, this is not the part of the track where you want to overtake, because the main straight is perhaps the best opportunity to use the slipstream. And yes, and Ross decided to stay behind Scani, and he's going to use this sweet slipstream now. Yeah,
with these Porsche 962s, it's almost like an oval race, less so a road track race. But down the inside, no, he backs out, and that means that Sammy is actually now closing in. Drade has moved up into 9th, so that's a great performance for him, and that's Ross spinning. Ross is out.
Ross is out, yes.
Well, he's facing the wrong way as Noki also ends up going over the curbing, but that's a terrible time for Ross. Now, I believe he is having a slight problem with his accelerator and brake problems, which may be the reason for his uncharacteristic performance so far.
Yeah, he lost plenty of time there, at least 10-15 seconds. It's very easy to touch the curb and lose the rear. Meanwhile, Macko is very close to Stefan, and Hunty is also attacking Brad. Well,
yeah, I think Brad has actually got into 4th place there ahead of Hunty the Punty. Now, one crucial change that has happened here for this 4th round is that there has been a slight change of the performance of the car. All of the cars now have reduced power and reduced weight. They're a lot more nimble, but it does make the straights feel a lot longer.
Indeed, now the cars are about the same top speed as the GT 500 cars.
Oh, that's a big mistake. Big, and Stefan's on. Stefan is in position here to take the lead on lap 5. It's been a very slow lap time there. A 41.2 is not what the leaders want to be doing, but if they continue battling, that is exactly what they're going to be doing, as he goes to the inside for turn 1.
It's very difficult to make it stick into the second turn, and he well, okay, that was a glorious move, absolutely majestic. It's very difficult because you are going to be on the outside. Drade.
What's happened here? He was in 8 fighting with Fix Trip, as we saw earlier. Fix Trip, he's being a lot more careful at turn 1 than he was earlier on, but Drade is the driver who's caught out this time, and that put him behind Fix Trip in the end. Fix Trip actually getting past Sammy, who was a little bit too careful. Scani's now on his own in 6th place. Hunty is in 5th behind Brothers V, and then we've got the top 3 only about a second and a half ahead with Macko, Sig and Stefan.
And as we can see, Hunty is very quick. He has the fastest lap of the race so far with a 39.2. So I think he has a very good chance to get past Brad, because of course he has less ballast and therefore he's faster in the straight. Plus the slipstream in Monza, that's more than enough.
Yeah, well currently they've been alternating a little bit, so he may have the raw pace, but it's the consistency which has got Brothers V ahead right now. But is that side-by-side action ahead? No, not just yet. Let's just go a little bit further back the order. So Drade, Tyler there rounding out the top 10. Noki in 11th, having actually a pretty good performance, with Ross and Pix down near the back. But as we approach lap 6, this time it's roles reversed for the top 2. It's Stefan having to lose the lead, it seems.
Yes, I think Stefan had a poor exit and it gives Sig a great opportunity. He's actually ahead now. I think he has the position. No, he went a bit too wide, he braked too late, and then oversteers it. But still, he has the position. That was a good overtake.
Yeah,
although it wasn't perfect.
This is slowing them up, and you can see Bradders and Hunty closing on the background, and also Macko might be able to overtake one of these pretty soon. Still,
Stefan's on the inside. Ooh. Yeah, he didn't want to dive, because of course this chicane is also very difficult to make it work out if you're side by side with somebody. So he decided to play it safe, which I think was a good decision here. He has plenty more opportunity.
You can actually now see the top 5 separated by only a few seconds, and we've still got 10.5 laps to go. Now Sig is going to be pretty happy with how he's doing so far. He's holding up the soft tyre runners and he's on the mediums. He can definitely go to the end of the race on mediums due to the low tyre wear here. But although if we're looking at Stefan's tyre wear in the bottom left, you can see that his softs are actually holding up pretty well as well.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. We are now 6 laps into the race, and these tyres look very healthy.
Yeah, they're also looking healthy for the drivers behind. Macko's tyres looking pretty healthy. So are Brothers V, even clipping that AstroTurf. Just going back up front, this battle is refusing to end, as we've got the I don't know how to pronounce it, Tomica, and Stefan getting on the inside there in the Fujifilm car. But Sig with all side-by-side contact, I think, but Sig actually manages to hold on, so great stuff there from Sig, Rez and Eco.
Yes, and great stuff from Stefan as well, because as I said, that chicane is very dangerous, but they managed to keep it clean. And now Stefan is going to look for the inside again. Will he dive this time? No, he won't. And as you can see, Macko and Brad are completely behind him. The gap basically disappeared, and now it's a force horse race.
Yeah, we got 4 cars within a second, and we're only halfway through the race. This could flip on its head, especially with the different tyres that we've got 2nd, 3rd and 4th on compared to our race leader.
It's surprising to see that. Sorry, just a quick thought. So we were talking about tyre wear, and as you can see, Brad's fastest lap is his last lap, 39.9, and that shows that the tires are still working perfectly. And this is the 7th lap. A pit stop, I think, is about, what would you say, 15-16 seconds around here.
Yeah, you lose about 16 seconds with a pit stop, but one crucial aspect is that you're going to come out in traffic if you do pit, and you've got to overtake people. And someone who's going to find that out. Yeah, he's going to have to find out this traffic. He could use it to advantage if he can get good slipstreams as he overtakes people, but he's going off those softs onto a new set of Toyo tyres softs, as is way too many Natkins, who was near the back of the top 10.
He's also in the pit. I think Tyler has the pace to challenge, I think, Hunty for the fastest lap. Meanwhile, Stefan overtook Sig.
Yeah, I think that was just coming through Parabolica and onto the main straight. Oh, and that's contact, and Brothers, look how close the top three are, and this has also brought in Hunty the Punty into very good position for this race win.
Yes, he's in a good position to
Ooh, side by side.
try something opportunistic, yes?
Oh, Brad
No, into last move too. You don't want to.
Oh, no!
Both of them went wide.
And that may cost Brothers V more than it will Sig. Hunty is now looking on the inside as we go under the old oval track. And yeah,
yes,
Hunty,
he has it. Oh, yeah.
Moves into the podium
no problems there.
In his first Rei Sportscar Championship race. Just a quick look further back, in 5th place, yet to pit, is Fixtrip. Scani, also on softs, in 6th, with Sammy in 7th. Scani and Sammy still close as ever. 8th, having a fantastic, Drade having a fantastic performance in 8th. Macko will soon catch him up with way too many napkins in 10th after his lap 1 incident. Noki in 11th and Ross in 12th. We're sad to say that Pixtec has had to retire, but back up front, we've got Hunty the Punty who's got past Sig. Let's just catch a TDK sponsored replay. So that as they go into Parabolica, Hunty the Punty's got far more speed. He doesn't have as much ballast. He's only just joined the league, and he actually dives down the inside of Sig. And that will give Stefan a little bit of breathing space into the second half of this race.
Yes, but it also gives Sig a good chance to try to take the position back into T1, because he's now in the slipstream.
Oh, and actually, Hunty might even get Stefan as well. No, who was that pitting further back? It was Scaniflick pitting from, I think, 6th place.
Yeah, what we see is a great diversion in the strategy, because I think those who haven't pitted are going to stay out and going to go for the no-stop strategy. Meanwhile, Scanny, Tyler and Macko decided to go for the soft. And of course there's Sig, who is going to do a no-stop but on the medium tires.
Yeah, now one crucial thing about the if you pit in the middle of the race is that it gives you a fresh set of softs, and with a fresh set of softs, and if you can come out in clean air, you've got a fantastic chance of getting 1 bonus point for the fastest lap. Currently it's Hunty who has the fastest lap with a 39.2, but Stefan Notbeloff, it wasn't too far off with a 39.4, but if he stays out, he's never going to have tyres that fresh.
No, I think Macko or Tyler might be looking for the fastest lap. But
yeah,
those who stay out and go for the no-stop are definitely out of the race for the fastest lap.
Yeah, well, there are Macko and Tyler currently in 7th and 10th respectively, but further up front we can see that Stefan's got a gap here, but then it's carnage for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Will any of these drivers pit, maybe try and cover off Macko, or are they, as you predict, going to stay out? They do stay out. Now obviously Sig's going to stay out, he's on mediums.
Yes, but Hunty is on the inside now. That's a very easy move for him. Hunty, of course, has very little ballast, as this is his first round in the Rei Sportscar Championship. And Sig is, I think, 3rd in the championship now, so he has heavy ballast. And in Monza, that is a crucial thing because of the straights. You don't want to lose top speed. Macko, meanwhile, I think is closing on Sammy, sorry. I think he's about 2 or 3 seconds behind him.
Drade pitted, and Drade has rejoined in 10th place with way too many napkins, who gets slowly loose. And Macko, though, as we were saying, he's the first of the drivers who have made a pit stop.
Yeah, I'm going to be curious how that works out, because he's now on 7th place, and he needs to. He was 3rd when he pitted, so he has to overtake Sammy, Fix, Brad, and Hunty, and no, I'm sorry, Brad, Sig for the 3rd position, because Hunty is the 2nd. So yeah, he has. He's looking for difficult 6 laps now.
One driver who's been a little bit alone since the early laps is Fixtrip, after he had a crucial major error at turn 1. But he's actually had a very good performance since then.
He's been very he's been very fast recently.
Yeah, like 39.7 on lap 8 is very good, and the rest are 40s, just in comparison with some of the drivers ahead. Well, Bradesvi's doing 41, and we've got Sigras and Ika doing 41s on mediums, but fighting very closely with Hunty the Punty, who is also doing a couple of 41s here and there. And as these cars battle, that's going to allow Fixtrip there to close up and possibly allow Stefanot Belov to get even further away. A 40.0 is a fantastic lap here on worn soft tyres. Let's just see how we're getting on for seconds. So Sig's having to defend into the second again from the debutant, but Sig keeps that for now.
Yes, this is his home race, so I think he wants to perform really, really well here for the cheering crowds.
Yeah, and he's even got a very slight Italian-themed livery. Sammy, he has now been caught up by Macko, who obviously pitted on, what, lap 7? Sammy's got some pretty good pace, though.
Yes, and this is a fight for position.
Oh,
so he has no obligation to let Macko pass, but he does. Perhaps he realized that he is going to overtake him eventually, and he didn't want to lose any time.
We were saying about the fastest lap, and Macko on his fresh softs is 4 tenths away from the fastest lap, so currently that extra bonus point will be going to second place Hunty the Punty, who now has he actually has six Rei Sportscar Championships behind him. Sig, a 4-time winner, Bradesvi, a 2-time winner, and with the reduced power that Sig and Brothers have here, they're going to struggle to make any sort of good move into turn 1. Sig closes in anyway, Bradesvi behind. Oh, and no. Oh, was that contact? Contact. There was big contact. Bradesvi's made contact with Hunty and Sig. Let's catch.
Can we catch the on board?
Yeah, let's go on board with 4th place. Let's see what happened here. Was it Sig's fault? Oh. And Hunty's got sent into the gravel there with that tap behind. Bradesvi actually slowing down there, and Hunty the Punty struggling to get out of that very thick gravel trap, but that's allowed Macko to get by. Macko is moving into 4th place, and this has worked out a dream for the one-stopper. It's also working out a dream for Sammy, who's rejoined ahead of Hunty.
Yes, and Macko is now ahead of Brad as well. Brad is waiting for Hunty, or at least he waited a fair amount of time.
Hunty's actually just got past Sammy. Let's just catch what happened there. Maybe Sammy possibly Sammy made an error. He's just gone board over the curb. Oh, he's missed that first apex. Gone over that second orange curb, and that's sent him almost around as Hunty now fighting for redemption after being knocked out of second place in his debut race.
A very unfortunate incident. Brad is letting them pass. That is a very fair move by him. Great sportsmanship, as always.
In 3rd place, benefiting the most, has to be Fixtrip. Now, Fixtrip had a couple of good races at Sardinia, which was round 2. Missed round 3, but here at round 4, he's now on course for his first Rei Sportscar Championship podium. He's closed up a lot on Sig, who was involved in that incident, and his tyre wear seems to be about the same as our race leader. So maybe Fixtrip, if he can continue being consistent, can catch up the medium tyre runner of Sigras and Eco.
Hopefully, yes. And Macko, I think, well, there's 4 laps to go, and the one-step strategy so far doesn't really seem to be working out, because he was very lucky with Hunty and Brad making contact. Meanwhile, Brad is looking for the inside, but he's not going to make the move. So far, I would say that the no-stop strategy is the better.
Oh, Hunty very slow out of that first turn. Maybe hit the curbs too high. Now, if you do hit the curbs just right, you can gain a lot of time, but otherwise, the rear of your car is going to come out of position, and Hunty's having to defend from Sammy. This is great racing between the two. Sammy going around the outside. That is a fantastic move. Fair play to him.
Wow! And look at Brad. Oh!
Down
And
the inside.
Hunty,
We don't usually see moves at Lesmo 1, but Bradesby's pulling that off. Hunty's in the gravel.
and they are still side by side into Lasma 2, and Hunty is wide. He has lost 2 position, and yes, and he's losing lot of time with this spin.
Yeah,
Can we
backwards.
catch the replay? That was good racing, very good
let's
racing
let me
indeed
go on
from
board.
Sammy.
Let's go on board with the driver who saw it all in 7th place. So Hunty probably right to defend, but that was absolutely perfect accuracy from Sammy to get around there. That's not something that you'd expect, but not too much room on the exit, and then we can just see Bradley slotting in behind Sammy, following him. Very careful not to make contact with either of them. And then from there, that is where
I don't
Hunty...
think they made contact, do you?
No, I don't think there was contact. I think Hunty just missed the turning point. You know what we've missed in all of this?
Fix overtaking Sig.
And it was in the same place, actually, at the same place, just 10 seconds up the road. Did Sig defend from Fixtrip, or did Fixtrip have a very easy move? Ooh, well, Sig actually goes, he brakes late, but not late enough to keep Fix... Oh, bit of contact, actually. Maybe not the
Yeah,
cleanest
but that's
move.
fine.
Certainly not the cleanest it could be.
I think Sig wasn't really paying attention, and he left the door open.
Oh yeah, the door was firmly open there, but Fixtrip is on the softs and is going quicker than Sig at this part of the race. We've only got 3.5 laps to go.
Sig is... Well, I think he's the slowest now from the top 3. Which for me is a bit surprising, because mediums at this point of the race might, or at least should be, faster than softs. We are 13 laps into the race now. And let's not forget that before the race we were expecting people to pit to do a soft strategy, and into the 14th lap, and we still see that the softs are better than the mediums.
Yeah, it's amazing that that has actually played out the way it has. Just going further back, we've got Scani on his own, seemingly always on his own actually. And then we've got Waitoni Natkins in 8th, which is a good recovery drive after lap 1. Hunty's down in 9th now, but he's ahead of Drade and Ross. Meanwhile, Noki, who was near the back, has had to retire from the race.
Unfortunate for him. I think both AM class drivers had to retire this race, right? Pix and Noki.
Yeah, well, Pix and Noki have had to retire, but currently leading AM class is Drade.
Oh, so Drade.
Drade, he raced at Fuji, didn't have a good time, but here at Monza he seems to find his feet. Although he is actually now the only remaining AM-class driver, but he was having a pretty good time even before that. He made that small mistake at turn 1 earlier on, but I believe he was still ahead of Pixtecker and Noki.
Yes, I think so. And looking at his lap times, he's pretty consistent. So.
Yes. Oh,
and his fastest. Yep.
Sorry. Okay, no, the cam. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Drade abused the cones. Or the curves. He abused the curves. Okay, that was some serious airtime, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's one for the record books in the Rei Sportscar Championship. Back up front, Stefan, who seems to be a bit of a Monza master after he won both races in season 6, and he's going to make that 3 Monza wins in a row, unless Fixtrip can close up. But ooh, this is now juicy.
6 on the 1 mediums versus Macko on the relatively new softs. Sig defends very well, and Macko has to go around. That's not going to work out for him.
Yeah, still good racing between the two, and if they can just sort of sit in each other's slipstream, they could maybe get back at Fixtrip and be battling for 2nd rather than just 3rd.
Yes, but I think at this point neither of them are trying to do that. I think they are fighting for the podium, and well, only 1.5 lap remaining, so...
Oh, that was a lot of entry oversteer from the Italian. Probably has his brake balance very far to the rear of the car to get that high turn in. It is a bit of a risky strategy, but it does seem to work for a lot of these drivers. So Macko there having to settle in fourth for now. Just further back, Sammy pretty clearly ahead of Bradders, who's picked up a little bit of penalty time. If he can't get rid of that, that'll be added on at the end of the race.
Well, this might get heated because, well, there's still more than a lap to go.
Scani, completely on his own. He's gone off.
He had such a consistent race.
Oh yeah, you can just see his consistency on his second set of softs there, 40.1, 40.5s, and just got that gravel. Very similar to a couple of other incidents we've seen here at Monza, both today and last season. And
do you remember where he was before the pit stop?
Scaniflick, I think he was fighting for around 6th. He was 6th or 7th. He was near Sammy. So it wasn't the strategy wasn't working too badly for him. However, he did obviously gain from Hunty earlier on, but Hunty's regained that position. But let's go back up for the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, as yet again we've got defending into turn 1 across the main straight.
Macko is not that close this time, but I think he's going to be more aggressive. This is his last chance, or one of his last chance. Oh, Sig braked a bit too late.
Oh, he's got overs here. He's
and he loses it.
Well, that is a major error. That's cost him 3rd, maybe even cost him 4th if Sammy can catch up. But that was a fantastic move from Macko trying to get ahead originally. Sig had already lost the position by the time he oversteered, but that oversteer was caused, I think, a mix of the dirty track and the curbing.
Yes, I don't think they made contact. Yeah, so that was a clean move, and Sig is only 4th in his home race. But that is, of course, not a bad result.
Has Stefan made has Stefan made an error, because Figstrip has really closed in here, as has Macko.
Yes, and Macko as well.
Well, we've got a tense
Actually,
finale.
they are separated by, I think, 2 seconds now only.
Yeah, this is a very tense finale, but will the number 7 cross the line in the lead? Oh, Macko very loose. So it's just between Stefan and Figstrip now, and Stefan defending. He is defending for his win, for his life almost. But Figstrip not close enough through Parabolica. No, so this should be a win for Stefan. A fantastic performance. He qualified where? Was it
3rd?
3rd place. He's beaten Macko, he's beaten Sig, who both qualified ahead of him for a fantastic line as the checkered flag falls here at Monza. Figstrip, fantastic underdog performance by him. Macko, maybe not the best strategy, but he almost got the win at the end. Still a fantastic performance, but from pole position he might not be too pleased. 4th place cross the line is Sig after that last lap error. 5th is Sammy, really consistent. 6th is Bradders, who lost time with the incident with Hunty. 7th is Tyler, consistent, not too many mistakes. And then 8th is Hunty, who will feel a bit aggrieved after being hit off at turn 1. Then we've got Scanny, Drade and Ross rounding out the field. We hope you've enjoyed race 1.